The big money's flipping, the quick money's wholesaling. The next evolution is taking those big chunks from wholesaling and flipping and putting it into buy and hold real estate, so traditional rentals. In this video, we're going to cover the evolution of a real estate investor if you go all in. So maybe you have about $1,000 or a couple $100 saved up or a credit card that you're ready to invest and you're ready to just quit your job, or maybe you don't have a job and you don't want to save your way to get into investing, or you don't want to start raising capital just yet. If you just want to get right into it, go all in, this video is for you. So first, you're going to start off as a bird dog. And what a bird dog is where you reach out to other local investors and you find the criteria that they're looking for, and you go and try and find those deals, and they will pay you a finder's fee. So that's what can maybe keep food on the table as you're starting to learn the business more and before you get into the next step. For bird dogging, the pay range is anywhere from maybe $200, typically $500, up to $1,000 or more, depending on the size of the deal and the value that you bring. The next step is wholesaling. Wholesalers are when you find the deal, but then you also negotiate the deal and get it under contract. So you're actually tying the property up, you're buying the rights to purchase the property, and then you're taking the contract and then assigning it to the other investor. You're not just finding it and they're doing that extra step. That extra step of negotiation can make you tens of thousands of dollars. So when you're able to understand the exact buying criteria, and you know the metrics, and you know how to negotiate with sellers, and you know how to estimate rehab costs, you'll know what these investors can buy at. You'll know the floor, the purchase price. So you're able to figure out exactly what you need to get it under contract for to determine your spread and your pay for doing that. So that's where you can end up making tens of thousands of dollars per transaction. I mean, if you just did one wholesale a month for 10 grand, I mean, that would change most people's lives. So it's a fairly lucrative business, which you can scale and have as a side business as you continue to grow and evolve as a real estate investor. So the next one is flipping. That's where you find the property, you get it under contract, you negotiate it, get it under contract, and then you're the one who's actually the end buyer. So you just hold on to it and you actually close on the property, you improve it, and you flip it. Or you're buying from a wholesaler or from another bird dog at that point. So I recommend, if you are wholesaling, if the deal has a big enough spread and you have the money lined up, or the hard money loans, or you know how you're able to close on it, if it has a big enough spread, then you just close on it and flip it. If it doesn't have a big enough spread, I recommend just offing it and wholesaling it, because that way you have no risk. It's a way quicker turn of cash, because a flip will typically be anywhere from maybe 2 to 6 months, depending on if you're doing permits or the extent of the rehab, if you're moving walls, all that sort of thing. The big money's flipping, the quick money's wholesaling. So that's number 3. And with flipping, typically you're looking at, from what I've seen, you're looking at about a 15 to a 25% profit margin of the sale price. So if the property is 300 grand and it's 20%, you're looking at maybe a $60,000 profit on that flip. That's not accounting for capital gains tax and maybe some other transactional fees. But still, that's pretty good. I mean, if you could do 1 or 2 flips a year, maybe 2 flips a year, an extra $120,000, that's a significant increase to most people's income. So that's step number 3. The next step is buy and hold. That's where you start creating more passive income as opposed to active income. So active income is when you're having to work to actually earn the money. Your time is involved to earn it. Or passive income is where your money is making you money, or you're receiving money without having to do any work. So you just wake up in the morning and the check comes in through the mail or electronically these days, but that's called mailbox money. So you're getting paid while you sleep. Warren Buffett has a famous quote that if you cannot figure out how to get paid while you sleep, you're going to work until you die. So the next evolution is taking those big chunks from wholesaling and flipping and putting it into buy and hold real estate, so traditional rentals. That's where you buy a property, you rent it out, and you make sure that it cash flows, and then that cash flow, that surplus, is what you can live on, or you save for retirement, and you just keep accumulating rentals and just scaling out your net worth in your portfolio. The final step of a real estate investor is becoming, I believe, the lender or the venture capitalist. So that's where you are then lending out capital to people to either do real estate buy and hold investments, to do developments, to do flips. Maybe you're lending out hard money loans, you're lending out first or second or third position mortgages. It's where your money is 100% working for you, where you're not out in the trenches every single day, you're not on the phone with sellers, you're not running around, you're not making offers, you're not dealing with contractors and tenants. This is where your money is just working for you. When an investor comes to you, a real estate investor, and they put a pitch on your table, you're able to understand the numbers and analyze it. You'll know if it's a good deal or a bad deal, and if you're ready to move on it, you lend them the money and they go and do all the work for you. And as the venture capital investor, you really determine the sort of dollar amounts that you want to make. So it could be anywhere. If you're doing fixed interest rates, maybe you're lending at 8%, 10, 12, or 15% on your money. Or if you're participating in equity as well, then you can get the big kickers and split in the returns. So it all depends on where it is and what it is that you want to, how you want to invest, and the certain expectations of returns that you have. So that's pretty much my opinion on the evolution of a real estate investor, of someone who wants to go in full time. Those are the main sources of ways that you can generate revenue and learn new skills as you evolve as an investor and go up the real estate investor hierarchy.